Welcome to Expand Your Fempire with Caterina Rando, the podcast for women in business on a mission, sharing ideas to support you to grow, lead, and thrive. Now, here's your host, Caterina Rando.
Hey, my friends, Caterina Rando. I wanted to bring you some thoughts, some ideas, some musings on your business. My hope is that this year will be your absolute best year ever. Today, I'm going to take a few minutes to talk with you about shining the spotlight on where in your business you can add some upgrades by being impatient. Yesterday, a client calls me. She wants to talk to me about joining me on my speaker mastermind retreat. I'm blissing to talk to her about it. You know what she says to me? She says, Caterina, I'm a little impatient in my business. She says, I know I'm doing great. I know my business has grown. I'm impatient. You know what I said to her? Bing, bing, bing. I said, that's awesome. That's amazing. Because you know why? Patience is not a virtue when you have your own business. I want to ask you, where in your business is there room for not patience, for impatience? This fabulous gal who I was talking to, she's been my client for a couple of years. She has a business and she has another business. Both of them have really grown. What she wants, though, is not just more financial growth, good for her. The other thing she wants is to have more impact. Like you, she has massive value to bring. Like you, she knows that there's a lifetime supply of people to serve. The thing is that if you're not amplifying your voice, if you're not looking for how you can serve more by gaining more clients, you are being too patient, my friend, in your business. This idea that we'll get to it at some point and, well, it takes as long as it takes and I got to do my research and I got to get ready and I got to figure everything out. Oh, I'm sorry for you. No, action is the antidote to what ails you. And it's important for you to add some impatience to your business. Let's start here. First thing I want you to know, I'm going to give you a couple of areas that I want to encourage you to increase your impatience. And then I'm going to have several more super tips for you on looking to see where some impatience and how to have some more impatience to support your business so that you're growing, you're thriving. And you know what I also want for you? I want you blissing in your business. What is blissing in your business? Well, guess what? I have a whole checklist on it. If you go to CaterinaRando.com/links, you'll get my free checklist on blissing in your business. Blissing is in your business is when you are happy. You are loving every day. You're excited to be doing your thing, to be bringing your massive value, that you're feeling ease and you're feeling fulfilled by your business. That's what I want for you. And sometimes looking at where we are maybe a little too relaxed is going to support us in growing, thriving, and blissing more. The first thing I want to share with you is that you want to run your business for where you're going, not where you are. What does that mean? Run your business for where you're going, not where you are. Many years ago, when I first started to do my own training seminars live and in person, pre-Zoom, where I had to rent the hotel room and pay for lunch to have people come and spend the day with me, way back then, I thought, you know what? I want to have people come to be with me so I can serve them. We can learn, we can grow, I can serve them. At that time, I said, I'm not the kind of speaker that people are going to necessarily get on a plane to come see, but that's where I want to go. And so I said, okay, I'm going to run my business for where I'm going. And pretty soon people did start to fly in to come and be with me. Not everybody, of course. We always had a lot of people from the area. But the thing is that I didn't say, okay, I got to run all over the country, because I wanted to be here in the Bay Area. And I didn't like being a runaround speaker so much as having people come and spend time with me. You run your business for where you're going, and then pretty soon you are where you were going. You're there. You got there. The other thing that a lot of people wait too long on, they're too patient around, is getting support in your business. You are supposed to have 5 jobs in your business: speaking, selling, serving your clients, strategy, and self-care. Well, that's a lot of jobs right there. Let's not add Canva fooling around, upgrading your own website, and admin tasks, and QuickBooks, and all of these ancillary things that, yes, they need to be done. But sweetheart, they're not your job. And what you will find is the more you're doing all of those things that are not your job, you're actually pushing off the things that are your job. You're pushing off the revenue from them, and you're also pushing off your mastery of those 5 things. Because guess what? Those 5 things are not only your job. You have to master those 5 things. You don't just want to sell. You want to be masterful at selling. You don't just want to speak, and I say speak in the broad sense of the word. Speak, do videos, run clubhouse rooms, a podcast guesting. All of that is you amplifying your voice to uplift your business and, of course, be of service. But you know what? If you are not doing these things enough, you're not going to get masterful at them. And that's the goal. The goal is to not do something around our business. Our goal is to master it. This is a guiding principle I want you to look at, or an important inquiry question to support you. I only want you to do things in your business that you seek to master. And so ask yourself, when you're doing something, do you seek to master this? Fooling around with Canva, that's not, are you a graphic designer? If not, my friend, what are you hanging out there too much? Yeah, you might be good at it, but you're mastering that thing that nobody's paying you for. Nobody cares who made the flyer. Nobody cares who updated the website. What your potential clients care about is, how can you serve me? How can you help me? Can you help me? And that's why those 5 things are what you want to put your attention on. Look at where more impatience would serve you in your business. Let's try that on. I've got more musings for you about where I want you to be impatient in your business. We've talked about the importance of being impatient around creating support and looking at, how can I create support now, rather than getting to the place where you're feeling like, okay, all my ducks are in a row and I've got plenty of financial surplus. Okay, now I can get some support. My friend, get some support ASAP, because also that's going to support you to generate more revenue. Here's the other thing though. You can't generate more revenue. You can't thrive in your business if you haven't mastered sales. I want you to be impatient about pursuing mastery with your selling. I talked to a fabulous gal today. She's been in her business 4 years. She's got a beautiful website. She's done a lot of networking. Everyone knows who she is. She's got an amazing personality. Everyone loves her. But you know what? She doesn't have a ton of sales and clients. Why? Because she's doing what she's really good at. She's good at connecting. She's good at networking. But she comes from a corporate background, like a lot of women entrepreneurs, where she never had to sell anything. She wasn't a Girl Scout. She didn't do direct sales in her past, and she doesn't have those skills. Sure, she's happy to connect with people, but she's not asking for the sale. I want you to check in with yourself. Not only are you willing to sell, have you mastered sales? What does mastering sales look like? Mastering sales looks like you being more than confident and comfortable to talk to anybody anytime about how you can serve them and finding out if they're the right match for you. If you're having any apprehension about talking to people on the phone or jumping on a Zoom call to talk to people, then you haven't mastered sales yet. And how do you master sales? Well, you might need some support like our Thrive at Sales program, or you may simply need to have more conversations. But the thing I want to say about sales is people think of it as the conversation. There's a lot more. There's the influence building. There's your systems. There's your follow-up. There's the not getting discouraged. And we've done a lot of podcast episodes on sales. If you have not listened to some of our previous episodes on sales, I want to strongly encourage you to do that, because if you can't sell, you can't serve. And I want you to be impatient about pursuing mastery with your sales. Next one. Do not be patient around speaking to grow your business. Now, when I started, speaking meant getting in my car and going somewhere to talk to a group. Today, that's not what speaking means. Speaking means doing a Zoom workshop. Speaking means hosting a room on Clubhouse where you're presenting your massive value. Speaking means being a guest on other people's podcasts or having your own podcast. We could count that as speaking too. Of course, doing Facebook Lives or Instagram Reels or all of that where you're showcasing your massive value. That's the thing though. You got to be showcasing your massive value. If you're dancing around, that's fun, but it's not necessarily telling people that you're the one to hire. Okay. Very important that your speaking is showcasing your massive value. I want you to be impatient around getting on stages, around sharing your ideas. Be impatient around getting your book out if that's what you want to do. I used to go to this conference. I would see ladies every year. I'm laughing because I used to publish books. I don't know if you know that. I published about 30 books, many of them multi-author books. These ladies would say, "Oh, Caterina, I don't want to be in your multi-author book because I want to write my own book." I'd say, "Great, Sheila. I want you to write your own book. The multi-author book is like a stepping stone to do it before you do your own book." And then I would see them the next year at the conference and they would say, "Caterina, I'm working on that book." And then I'd see them the next year and they'd say, "Oh, I'm still working on it." By the third year, they would just avoid me because they hadn't done nothing. Be impatient around getting your book done if you want to get your book done. I'm not saying you got to do it, but I'm saying if you want to, be impatient about it. What are you taking all this time for? Be impatient. And by the way, if you're pursuing perfection, you're going to take forever. Remember, perfection is not required or encouraged. We've discussed this before. I'm hoping that you're remembering this. I'm going to say it again. Perfection is not required and it is not encouraged, because done is better than perfect. And you know what people care about? Not is it perfect? They care about, how can you help me? That's what they care about, which is why you want to be bringing forth your massive value through all of these speaking methods that we've discussed, as opposed to worrying about being such the amazing speaker with no speech fillers or no anything. Your audiences will allow you imperfections when you are bringing your massive value. By the way, while we're on the topic of speaking, you know that speaking is my bliss. I want to make sure that you are hosting a monthly or twice a month virtual Zoom workshop where you showcase and bring your massive value so that you always have something to invite people to. I had an amazing conversation today with a gal. She was blissing to be talking to me. I was blissing to be talking to her. She absolutely wants to look at the possibility of working with me as her coach. Well, guess what? Did I say, hey, sweetheart, let's talk about how we can get you signed up for this program? No, I said, hey, come to my workshop and let's make a time to connect after that workshop where we can discuss whether or not the Thrive at Sales program is right for you. I'm sharing this with you because sometimes you're trying to go from sales conversation to client when you haven't built any influence. And that's what speaking is all about. Speaking will support you to build massive influence in a group format or in a one-to-many format, like when you're a guest on a podcast or you're doing a clubhouse room or you're doing a Facebook Live, a one-to-many format. And then, of course, you invite people to be your client one-on-one, unless you have a sales team. Do you, my friend who's listening right now, do you have a sales team? If not, sweetheart, look in the mirror because it's you, and you better master sales and be very impatient about that. Bing, bing, bing. Let's take a deep breath. Think about that. Next thing, I want you to ask yourself, what is it, aside from these things that I've discussed with you, speaking, selling, serving, strategy, self-care, these are the 5 things that you have to master. What else do you want to master? And I want you to be impatient about it. I am hopefully mastering Clubhouse, using Clubhouse to build a community, engage with my current community, gain new clients. As soon as I jumped on it, I got impatient about using it to expand my reach. I didn't put a toe in once a week, a little bit here, a little bit there. No, be impatient when you embrace something new that you know will be good for your business. Be impatient about it. And ask yourself right now, take a deep breath. Where is it that you want to be impatient around moving towards mastery? Just like if you want to slim down, be impatient about slimming down. Don't do a ton of research. Just get your party started. Get going. Get a friend. Get some support. This will support you in being impatient. Ask yourself, what is that thing? Hopefully for you, it's speaking, selling, serving, strategy, self-care. If not, it might be something else. Be impatient about whatever it is you want to move towards mastery on. Okay, here's the next thing I want to share with you, my friend. I want you to be impatient around experiencing bliss in your business. I don't want you to be satisfied with little revenue. I don't want you to be satisfied with always feeling overwhelmed or stuck or like you're not moving. I want you to be impatient around feeling bliss in your business. Now, you have to answer the question, really, for yourself. I know I said earlier what bliss in your business is. I want you to answer that question for yourself. What is blissing in your business for you? Is it maybe not working that much? I've got one client, she's graduated from working with me because she's only working 3 days a week and she's living her best life with her husband who's retired. Bing, bing, they're doing it. I got another client who only works 4 days a week because she's got an amazing team and she wants more time for her sweetheart relationship. Whatever blissing is for you, you get to decide. The thing that I want to say to you, though, is I want you to be impatient around that being your life. Be done with overwhelm. Be done with struggle. Now, how do we do that? How do we be done with struggle? How do we be done with overwhelm? Well, of course, that is where you have a great team and you have support. But the other thing, and this is the next thing I want you to be impatient about. I want you to be impatient around mastering your ability to ask for what you want in a way that has people want to be a yes for you. Now, why did I not just say be impatient around mastering asking for what you want? Because I have known many women over the years that knew how to ask for what they wanted, but they did it without grace, without acknowledgement, without making you feel like you wanted to help them because they were barking what they wanted, rather than the finesse. It would be really great if XYZ. It would feel really good if you could XYZ for me, rather than asking in an aggressive way. This is a whole nother topic for another day, and I've actually done a lot of talking on this, how to ask for what you want. You have heard me say many times around the art of acknowledgement and upping your acknowledgement and letting people know how it would impact you when you ask for what you want. So for example, you could say, I would really like you to pick me up after my meeting. You could say that, or you could say, it would be so great if you could pick me up after my meeting. It would feel so great. That would be nice. Or you could say, if you would pick me up after my meeting, I would feel so good about that. And I would really appreciate your support. Letting people know how it impacts you, letting people know how their involvement would be of benefit. This is what you want to do. You don't just want to bark orders. And then you could say after that, you could say, if it works for you, would you be open to doing that for me? Talk to people with love and kindness, while at the same time being very clear about what you want. This is another skill to master. There is finesse and grace and ease when we talk to people that has us have more uplifting conversations and has them really want to support us because we're being kind and gracious. That's another skill, my friend. I want you to be impatient about mastery. There's more. Let's leave it there for today. Let me, though, remind you of a few things. You have massive value to bring. There is a lifetime supply of people to serve. I encourage you to be impatient about serving them. The more you continue to look at, how can I do this better? How can I get there sooner? You ask yourself these questions that support an impatient attitude. You will find that you're getting to where you want to go more quickly. And when you do that, you're going to be of more service. Also, you're going to be blissing more in your business and your life. That's what I want for you, and I know you want for you. This is Caterina Rando, reminding you to join our Thriving Women in Business Facebook group, reminding you that we have rooms every week on Clubhouse. I would love to have you get your voice in a Clubhouse room with me and some of the other women in our community. Our club is called Thriving Women in Biz. If you follow me, I will invite you to the club. And of course, I'll follow you back. Let me know how this idea of impatience has impacted you and what you're taking away and what you're doing. Because I'm not only here to put ideas in your head, I'm here for you to take action on the ideas I put in your head. I cannot wait to be with you again. My friend, can't wait to support you on the next episode of Expand Your Fempire. Bing, bing, bing.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Expand Your Fempire with Caterina Rando.